Hello and welcome to another instalment of HG Talks Art. In this video I'll be demonstrating step by step how to create a basic proportion portrait. There are a multitude of videos and tutorials available on how to draw portraits. However, in this video I want to explore the most succinct and simplified way to create an accurately proportioned portrait that any beginner can use. For the purpose of this video, I will be drawing my initial guidelines in orange and finalised lines in indigo. You will notice that as the video progresses that the orange lines only act as a marker to ensure my drawing is balanced. Bear this in mind when creating your own initial lines in pencil. In your own work, these lines will need rubbing out, so sketch them out lightly and carefully. The very first step is to mark where I want the top and bottom of the head to be. This small step of planning ensures that my head will be in the middle of my page to my desired scale and leave enough room for the hair and shoulders. Now we need to draw the basic head shape. Do not worry about outlines or specific facial details at the moment. Our main focus is to create a proportioned structure to work on top of. The head should be the shape of an upside down egg, so a little larger and rounder on top and pointier on the bottom. We now need to add grid lines. This shows us where the features need to go. Whilst all faces are different, there is a standard ratio that they follow. So first draw a vertical line down the centre. This shows the direction that the face is pointing in. Halfway down your vertical line, you will need to draw a horizontal line. Use your fingers to check this measurement. This is going to form your eye line. In the bottom half of the face, measure halfway down again. This line will be the nose line. And in the bottom section again, measure halfway down. This will form your mouth line. We're now going to add the basic structure for the eyes, and here comes a bit of maths. Generally a face is the width of 4 eyes across, so firstly divide the length of your eye line by 4. This is the width of one eye. Secondly, the gap between your eyes is also the width of one eye. As such, use your centre line to mark the width of one eye to show where the eyes will start, and use this measurement again to show where both eyes will end. Now draw a basic lemon shape or rugby ball shape to mark in where the eyes will sit, and don't worry about any additional detail for the moment. A common mistake in beginners' portraits is making the eyes too large. As humans, we tend to look people in the eye when we're talking to them, and as such we often focus on the eyes and therefore seem to think they are larger than what they are. Following these proportions will help to keep the eyes looking realistic and less Disney-like. Now onto the nose. Start by drawing the bridge as 2 straight lines either side of your central grid, also making sure that these lines are a small gap away from the eyes. Leave a bit of space before reaching your nose line. I call this technique the sprout and 2 peas as it involves 3 circles. First draw a circle that sits on the nose line and is as wide as the bridge of your nose. If the person you are drawing has a longer or shorter nose, you may wish to adjust just how high or low this larger circle, aka our sprout, sits on the nose line. You will now add our smaller circles, aka our peas. These will form the nostrils, so consider where you would like yours to sit. If you cannot see the person's inner nostrils, sit the peas a little higher than the sprout. If you can see a lot of inner nostril, sit them a little lower. I've opted for the middle. You will see that the nose is now a little wider than the inside of the eyes. Again, consider the nose that you are drawing. Is it wide or is it narrow, and adjust your peas accordingly. On to the mouth. Generally mouths are as wide as the centre of the eyes. As such, draw a straight line from the centre of each eye down the face. This technique is called the sausage and 2 peas. Draw a line across the lip line. In the centre of the bottom of the line, add a small sausage. The size of this will determine how full the bottom lip is. In the top, either side of the central line, add 2 small circles for our peas. Make sure you are leaving a decent sized gap between the base of the nose and the circles. Now simply smooth the edges of these shapes to the outer corners in order to create a basic mouth shape. Add a simple neck and shoulder outline. Bear in mind that shoulders will often not fit on the page in full, and that is okay. Simply draw them coming off the page, but do not hunch the shoulders or force them to finish too soon. And finally, mark a line for the eyebrows. This is not the shape of the eyebrows themselves, but instead just a guide of where they will sit. Moving on with my indigo, I will now show how to add detail to the bases that we have created. The orange section will now act as a guide so that none of the features will become too big or too small, and each side of the face remains balanced, keeping everything well proportioned. Starting with the eyes, now look at the person you are drawing and their smaller details which make them unique. When looking at the eye, look at the basic shape, where the eye goes up and down, and try to replicate this. Add in the area near the tear duct, the eyelid, the waterline if you can see it. Within the eye there is the white of the eye, the iris which is the coloured section, and the pupil which is the black section. It's important to remember with eyes that both the pupil and iris are circles, so make sure to draw these circular and not oval. The eyelid will also often cover over the top and bottom of the iris. Drawing a small iris with lots of white will make the person you're drawing look scared, surprised or cartoon-like. Also add a small highlight to make the eye look realistic. Often people can be a bit enthusiastic when adding eyelashes. Eyelashes curve, so draw a curved line starting at the eyelid and bring it down slightly lower and then flick up. As eyelashes in the middle of the eye will be closer to you, you often don't see these standing up, so focus more on the edge of the eye instead. Less is definitely more with eyelashes. For realistic eyebrows, you're going to need to draw each hair individually, so have a look at the shape of the eyebrows you're wanting to draw. Flick each hair up and then change direction so that you are constantly building upon the eyebrow. Look at whether they are particularly well groomed or shaped or not, and try and replicate this. Complete the same on the other side, referring back to your photo. Do not worry if this is not 100% symmetrical, as no one's face ever is. For the nose, use the guide we have put in place. Where the P meets the sprout, mark with the nostrils. Again, look at the person that you are drawing. The outside of the P's will indicate the outside of the nostrils, so mark these edges, and the base of the sprout will suggest where the nose ends. Again, continue to check the details of the person that you are drawing for a realistic finish. A little higher than the nostrils, lightly mark a curve, and this suggests where the tip of the nose sticks out. Keep this line light, as this is not a solid edge, but a marker for where we will need to add tone. Lightly mark the philtrum, which is the groove between the nose and mouth, and follow your guidelines to add a more detailed mouth. Look at where the lip line moves up and down. When marking the outline of the lips, make sure to keep your lines light, as the lips are not defined by a strong outline on the face. We now need to add a jawline to the face. In its current state, the face is a bit too narrow and lacks a chin. So again, look back at the person that you're drawing and replicate their jawline. You will need to bring this line a little lower down than where our guideline currently sits. When adding ears, start at the eye line and move down towards the nose line. And finally, we need to add some hair. The hairline sits in the top third of the space above the eyebrows. Mark in the direction and position of the hair, and don't forget to draw the hair a little higher than the edge of the head. This shows that it is not pulled tight to the scalp. And there we have a proportioned face. As you can see, our original orange grid lines have ensured that the more detailed work has remained proportionate, but they are essentially redundant now, so can be rubbed out, leaving our detailed drawing. For guidance on shading your portraits, please watch part 2 where I'll be adding tone to this drawing. Thank you for watching and please like and subscribe.